Welcome to Algebra 2. This is Chapter 8.6, Solving Rational Equations. So when solving rational equations, we're solving for x. However, we have x in the denominator, we have x in the numerator. So we need to have a strategy to combine like terms and get x on one side of the equal sign and then therefore solve. One thing to keep in mind is that we might have extraneous solutions, which if you remember, extraneous solutions are the ones that we got as an answer, but when you plug it back into the original equation, it doesn't work. So we need to check all of our solutions to make sure that they are confirming the equation. So the main thing that you want to do when solving these equations is to get x out of the denominator. So for our first equation, we have x plus 2 and x plus 2 on both sides. They're on the denominator of both sides. So we're pretty lucky when it comes to that, because if we just multiply one side across, then it cancels on both sides. So what I mean by that, if we multiply on the right times x plus 2, whatever we do to the one side, we have to do to the other side. So multiply by x plus 2. So now the denominator cancels with x plus 2, and that cancels there as well. So now all we have left, so we got rid of the x in the denominator, so we have left x minus 1 equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. So now we have a quadratic equation. We're going to subtract our x across and add our 1 across so that we have 0 on the left-hand side, and we have a quadratic equation that we have to solve. So to solve this, we're going to factor into a positive 2 and a negative 1. So 0 equals x plus 2, x minus 1. So to solve for this, x needs to equal a negative 2 and x needs to equal a positive 1. So again, we need to check for extraneous solutions. So what we have to do is plug this back into our original equation to solve and make sure that everything works out just fine. So on the left, we have negative 2 minus 1, negative 2 plus 2. Well, I see a problem already. If we plugged in a negative 2, then we get 0. We get negative 3 divided by 0, and we can't divide by 0. So negative 2 does not work as a solution. So let's check to make sure positive 1 does. So if we do 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 2 equals 1 plus 2 minus 3 divided by 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we have 0 divided by 3. And on the left-hand side, we have 0 minus divided by 3 as well. 0 equals 0, and that works. So x equals 1 is a solution to our rational expression. So always remember that our main goal is to get x out of the denominator. So one way we can do that, especially when we're working with fractions and addition and subtraction, is to combine them into one fraction. So on the left-hand side, we can't do that because they have different denominators. But if we subtracted this across to the other side, then we would have one fraction because the denominators are the same. So on the left-hand side, we have x divided by x plus 1. On the right-hand side, we have x plus 3 minus 3 divided by x plus 4. So we just combine that into one fraction. So now we're going to simplify. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we have x divided by x plus 1 equals x. So after simplifying, this is what we have left. So remember that we need to combine like terms. So if we cross multiply, we get x times x plus 4 equals x times x plus 1. So let's distribute our x's. So we get x squared plus 4x equals x squared plus x. So now we want all our letters and numbers on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract x squared over, and I'm going to subtract the x over. So on the right-hand side, we have 0, and x squared minus x squared is 0, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So we have 3x equals 0. If you divide the 3 across to solve for x, we get x equals 0. And that's the only answer we get. So hopefully that works when we plug it back in. So let's check. If we plug that back in, we have 0 divided by 1 plus 3 divided by 4 equals 3 divided by 4. 0 divided by 1 is 0, so 3/4 equals 3/4, and that is correct. Got it. Number 2 says you ride your bike to a store that's 4 miles away. When there's no wind, you can ride your bike at 10 miles per hour. However, today your trip to the store and back took 1 hour. So we need to see what the speed of the wind was today. So one thing that we need in order to solve this equation is that speed equals distance divided by time, or distance is speed times time. So when there's wind, it's either going to add to your speed or it's going to take away from your speed. Here we're talking about a round trip to the store. So we don't know if the wind added to the speed on the way to the store and took away on the way back, but we know it affected their trip. So we need to come up with an equation, and we're going to make a table for distance, speed, and time. So I made our table. We have distance, speed, and time to the store and from the store. The distance doesn't change. The store and your house are always 4 miles apart, so the distance is 4 miles on both. We don't know which one added to our speed. So let's say our speed is normally 10 miles per hour. Let's say on the way to the store, the wind speed added. So we'll just say plus x. And on the way back, it took away from our speed. Actually, we need one more equation that I didn't give you, and that is time equals distance divided by speed. And that's what we need to use here in our last column. So our time for going to the store was 4 miles divided by our speed, which was 10 plus x. And from the store was our distance divided by our speed, which was 10 minus x. So now we have the time to the store plus the time going back home gives us our total time for our round trip. So time to the store was 4 divided by 10 plus x plus the time from the store, which was 10 minus x, equals our total time, which was 1 hour. So now that we have our equation, we need to solve for the speed of the wind. So let's get a common denominator on the left-hand side so that we can add our equations, add our terms together. There we go. So we need 10 minus x on the top and the bottom for that one. And we need 10 plus x on the top and the bottom for that one. So on the top we have 4 times 10 minus x plus 4 times 10 minus plus x, all divided by 10 plus x, 10 minus x equals 1. Next, we're going to get our 10 plus x, 10 minus x out of the denominator by multiplying it across to the other side. So after we do that, we have 4 times 10 minus x plus 4 times 10 plus x equals 10 plus x times 10 minus x. So this is the difference of squares, and if we FOILed that out, we would get 100 minus x squared. On the right-hand side, we're going to distribute our 4. So we get 40 minus 4x plus 40 plus 4x. Combine like terms, so negative 4 and a positive 4 cancels. We're left with 80 equals 100 minus x squared. Subtract the 100 over. We get negative 20 equals negative x squared. Divide by negative 1. So we have a positive 20 equals x squared. So to solve for x, we take the square root of both sides. And when we take the square root, we get a plus and a minus 4.47. However, we're dealing with speed, so we're only going to use our positive value of 4.47. And speed is in miles per hour. So that is your answer. And we're going to skip got it number 2, letter B. And last but not least, we have got it number 3, where we have to solve for x, and we have it set equal to 5. So what we're going to do first is multiply by 1 minus 2 to the left-hand side, the right hand, from the left hand to the right hand. So we have x plus 2 equals, distribute your 5 minus 10x. So we can, let's see, let's add the 10 across just so that we have a positive x. So that's 11x, and then subtract the 2 equals 3. Divide by 11, divide by 11. X equals 3 over 11, which as a decimal is 0.27 repeating. And that's your answer. And that's the end of 8.6 notes.